Today's story, The House Next Door, written by William J. M. McQueen. Storm clouds rumbled over the city of angels and shrouded the evening hours in early darkness. Julie, an attractive young woman in her teens, nervously crept across her backyard toward the house next door. Jojo, her small Boston bulldog, decided to run into the creepy vacant property. The abandoned home had been falling into disrepair ever since the murder-suicide that took place nearly a year ago. It seemed to Julie to deteriorate much faster than normal. The Morales family that used to live there appeared to be happy and friendly, and they were kind and great neighbors. But then the husband came home one night and said that he had to kill the shadow people that had gotten into his brain and was driving him insane. He took a shotgun and killed his wife and children before he turned the gun on himself. The house had been slated for demolition ever since. The wind played with Julie's long black hair, and she hugged herself for warmth. It was not that cold outside, but her nervous fear gave her a chill. She hated that house next door. It gave her the creeps, so she always avoided going near it. Unfortunately, Jojo felt the need to run into the damned place that night, barking at something Julie could not see. "Jojo!" she shouted, hoping the dog would come back. Julie did not want to walk any closer to that building. "Jojo, where are you, you dumb dog?" Jojo was nowhere in sight, and her barking had stopped. It had suddenly become eerily quiet. Lightning flashed behind Julie, and the startled girl saw the shadows of 3 other people standing near her. With heart pounding, Julie whirled around, but there was no one there. She was alone. Jojo came out of the abandoned home and stopped at the edge of the yard. "There you are!" Julie's heart was still pounding. "Come on, let's go home." Jojo began to growl and refused to go near her. Julie was troubled. "What's wrong, girl?" Jojo began barking at her in a frenetic sort of way, sending chills along Julie's spine. Another bolt of lightning flashed behind her, and she saw that the shadows were much closer to her now. Looking around, the girl still could not see anything. The hairs on the back of her neck began to rise, and a feeling of fearful dread filled her stomach. She knew that there was something out there with her, something that could not be seen. Could it be the shadow people the neighbor had talked about? Was it something worse? She did not want to stick around and find out. In a panic, Julie began to run back toward her house. And that was when they appeared. 3 tall, thin, and featureless people that looked like they were made of living shadow mysteriously appeared and approached her. Julie froze in sheer terror as the shadows seized her. One of them grabbed her face about the mouth. Its wispy fingers trailed up her nostrils and touched her brain. Like a cancer, the shadow took root there. Then, just as suddenly as they appeared, the shadow people vanished into the darkness. A shaking Julie stood there, alone in her yard. But there was something different about her now. Something about her eyes. Jojo yelped in fear and ran away into the night. Julie stopped shaking and was unusually calm as she returned to her own house, making sure to grab a shovel on the way in. TV news the next morning told of 16-year-old Julie Sanchez, who murdered her parents and little brother with a shovel, then electrocuted herself with a hairdryer in the bathtub.